This is Nebraska Farmcast, a production of the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I'm Ryan Evans. While children in farm families often seek out different paths when they graduate from high school or college, many want to come back to work on the operation. But finding a place for them and generating the cash flow to pay for it takes some planning. Here to discuss what it really takes to employ more family members and business strategies to set the farm up for success with future generations is Dr. Larry Van Tassell, Director of the Center for Agricultural Profitability and Head of the Department of Agricultural Economics here at UNL. He has a new article up on our site at cap.unl.edu where you can find out more about adding another family member to the business. Thanks for joining me again, Larry.
Thank you, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so when a son or daughter graduates from high school or college and wants to come back to work on the farm, what are employment costs that need to be considered? Because I imagine it's more than just the annual salary.
That's correct, Ryan. It does vary quite a bit from operation to operation, but typically along with the regular salary, you have to remember to figure in the cost of the employer's contribution to Social Security and Medicare. You also need to consider if the farm will contribute to any health insurance programs, provide housing and utilities, provide a pickup and fuel, and any other perquisites such as locker beef. These additional costs and potential benefits can actually add up to more than the salary itself.
That's right. In the article, if folks want to check that out on our website at cap.unl.edu, the example you provide, the total expenses for adding an employee actually adds up to double what the salary is in your example. So great point there. And also in your article, you cite farm financial data from 2020 from Nebraska Farm Business Incorporated, which found that it takes over $6 of gross income to equal $1 of net income. Actually one of the lowest ratios in years. But why is understanding this important to an operation and how they manage their cash flow?
Well, Ryan, it's important to consider what value the son or daughter is bringing to their operation. It often takes an additional profitable enterprise or exceptional talent to increase the farm's gross income enough to meet the salary and benefit needs of an additional family.
You also describe a number of other factors to consider when bringing a child back to work on the farm. And before we get to planning for the future, what are some considerations that should be taken into account when evaluating whether to bring a son or daughter into the business today?
Well, a lot of people feel it's important for your son or daughter to gain experience working for another business before they return to the farm. Not only do they gain additional expertise from this experience, but it also will allow them to experience what it's like being a full-time employee of someone outside of their family. This may make it more palatable for an adult child to take instructions from the supervising parents.
So if the long-term goal is to have a child eventually take over management of the operation, hopefully there's a transition plan or a succession plan in place. Are there some potential compromises that could be considered to help ease this onboarding of a new family member back to the farm?
Well, it's important that everyone in the family understands the transition process and how it will occur. For example, perhaps an adult child is coming back to the farm and they may receive a lower than market wage with the intent that his or her sweat equity will contribute to their ownership of the operation. All the heirs, and especially the adult child earning that sweat equity, needs to know up front that this is what is happening.
And here in the Center for Ag Profitability, a lot of our education in farm transition and succession often refers to a testing phase for young family members who are coming back. So what are some roles that these returning children might take on to become more integrated into the business and earn trust?
That's a good recommendation. You need to treat your adult child more than just another farm laborer with regard to taking on real management responsibilities. Allowing them to market part of the crop or to oversee the management of a certain crop or piece of ground allows them to ease into a full-time management role.
And I imagine prove then to the parents, if that's who's in charge, that they're ready to take on more responsibility as time goes on.
Exactly. It's a period of proving and a period of learning both.
You and I have talked here before about the importance of having clear operating procedures in place for a farm business. And some people might be tempted to skip this, especially when working with family members. But what's your advice about the benefits of creating and maintaining clear operating guidelines, especially when it comes to working with family?
This is especially true, Ryan, if a spouse or other siblings are involved in the operation. Creating standard operating procedures for things as simple as what time off do I get, who works what holidays, who makes what decisions, etc., can help maintain family harmony out on the farm.
All right, great stuff from Larry Van Tassell, Director of the Center for Agricultural Profitability here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Again, check out a new article he has authored up on our website, cap.unl.edu, to dive further into examples of what it costs, what costs to consider when adding a family member back to the operation, and what sorts of business planning strategies can be used to help ease that transition. Larry, thanks so much for the great info.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been great being with you today.
Nebraska Farmcast is a production of the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. For the latest research-based information and education resources to manage your farm or ranch operation, visit our website at cap.unl.edu. That's cap.unl.edu.